Yes, yes, yes. It's another Herman Stewart mentoring show, and I'm so looking forward to today's talk, today's interview, today's reasoning, however we want to put it. I want to really bring in my guests. Like, I'm excited about speaking to my next guest. Like the accolades are big. The accolades are big. So when we talk about is Empower Top 100 Future Leader 2022, PBC Professional of the Year 2023, UK Black Talent Award winner 2023, LBG Ethnicity Role Model 2022, 2020. Like this is like a boxing. This is like a boxing. Yeah, like I'm just ringing off all the things that you've done. And he's a co-chair of the B.O.L.D network. It's Mahari Hay. Mahari, how are you today?
Herman, man, I appreciate you sparing the time because I had a look at your previous guests and to just be welcome onto your show with such esteemed company and those who have gone before me. I'm blessed and I'm thankful to be here. So I appreciate you having me.
Well, I'm really excited about us talk today because when I reflect on when we first met, it was a special moment, for me. When you meet different people and you always go to different events and you're networking or you're going to conferences or whatever it is, you always meet different people.
Yeah.
But when we met, it was almost like I knew you from before. It was strange the way that you approached me, and then it was like we started talking. It was like I know you from before, but it was like it was the first time we were talking properly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was like there was just
Synergy.
a connection. There was a connection. There was a synergy. There was a resonance. And some of the things that we went to talk about. Some of those unrecorded things where we have to debate and reason and try, put the world to rights and everything, So
Absolutely.
I was really encouraged about that time when we first met, and I just saw we definitely need to have a talk. We definitely need to get on a podcast. We definitely need to reason and kind of like chew the fat on some of the things that we was talking about, So
it's long overdue. It's long overdue. And this was planted way back then, right? And I know life and everything, but what was planted was there was a time that we would come together to chew the fat. And that day is the day. Today's the day.
Yes. And I'm really loving it. And I'm really looking forward to finding out a few things about you. I know that you're a leader, you're a thought leader in the finance space, but I know that you're leading in personal branding. You know what I mean? Like the way you do your thing is a bit different, like there's an edginess to it as well. So you've got that aspect of it. And then you're a speaker as well. And I know that you're a family man as well. And sometimes when you're just in the public arena, people just see your accolades in a sense of they just see the professional man. But I am always interested in who is the man behind the man, who's the man behind the persona, and I'm really looking forward to finding out more about you and even like us being able to have that conversation, live as well, so it's live TV, if the bells go off, if Amazon come, it is what it is, there's no editing, there's no deleting, it is live. What it is. So we're live. So I want to start, I know that from our conversation and we was talking a lot around ethnicity. We was talking about being able to still keep yourself, still be yourself, still wherever you're going in whatever professional arena that you still can have your essence, So when we think about Mahari, who is Mahari to you?
Herman, and I like the fact that we're live, because I can articulate myself and keep it 100% real with you. Because when people meet me, just like you, they feel like they've met me or they know me from a long time because I come across in a way that I want you to be personable. Like it's family. We're long lost cousins that haven't connected since the last Christmas dinner, but I know who you are. When I think about Mahari is just a little ghetto youth from Jamaica that was brought to England by his mother, who saw something in him that he didn't see earlier, right? Through her teachings and practices and love for other people, I began to
Yes.
identify those early things
Mm,
that she used to instill in me about kindness,
mm,
empathy, and helping other people and opportunity, right? So when I think of
mm,
Mahari, I think of somebody who is a people champion in a sense of
mm.
wanting to help other people realize just how powerful they are and not
Yes.
forget that
Yes.
their story, the story that they have is their greatest asset. And how you tell that
Mm,
story and communicate it, that's when people get really in tune. Because how you and
mm.
I go from not even knowing anybody to having
Yeah.
conversations very
Mm,
frequently offline. What do you think about this? I respect what you're doing. Do you understand?
mm.
That
Yes.
because there's
Yes.
an essence of wanting to see you do well, and yet
Mm,
reciprocated because I feel that coming back from you. So that's who
yeah.
my heart is.
Okay. Okay. So this sounds like there's a deep passion there, you know. Like even now you just relate to yourself and the way you just spoke about your mom as well.
Yeah,
She's seen something in you that you never saw in yourself. So is there a passion for being able to live out that legacy to ensure that you realize that potential and realize that greatness that your mom saw for a bigger purpose? Is there something that's pushing you? Because the way that you just spoke about your mom, it just spoke that you really recognize that that was a big thing in who Mahari is. Is it,
absolutely.
have I picked that up right?
You picked that up spot on. So, you know, God bless her soul. You know, my mother passed away. This is her 10-year anniversary, right? In 2023 was her
Okay.
10-year anniversary. And
Mm,
when you hear people speak of their mothers, people have different relationship with their mothers, but you're talking somebody who left her nation, her hometown, to move to another
mm,
nation to set
yeah.
up roots, right? And
Mm,
before she brought me over into England, she set up her foundation. So when I came over, there was something I could begin to work with, right?
okay. Okay.
So how dare I disrespect the foundation that she's planted, right?
Mm,
And want to go on. Yeah, and you know, as a you and you grow, you know what I mean, you start straight left and right. But
yeah.
she
Yeah.
always used to
Yeah.
say to me, listen to me, don't bring trouble to my door.
That is
Right.
the common thing. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And she
Yes.
didn't like embarrassment. And so when I
Yes.
think about everything that has happened in my life, Herman, and keeping it real, right? Anybody that
Mm,
knows me and my mother, when you meet them, the first thing that they say come out their mouth. I was having this conversation last night. Is like, yo, your mom would be proud enough because they know
mm,
she was
yeah.
like that person that would take everybody in, but would speak highly of her son. So
Yeah.
when she passed 10 years ago, that's when I began to really step into that legacy. So all the fruit of her labor
Mm,
now, physically, she's not here, so she can't experience and see it.
yeah.
But the blessings are raining down from her onto me. Believe me. And I
Mm,
believe that
mm,
100%.
yeah. And I love that. And I mean, just listening to you talk, like when I meet you and we talk, and I just see your profile, I see how you carry yourself. I can see you're a man's man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I could see it, you know, and you're speaking very strongly about your mother. You know, what was the relation with dad, or was mum enough, or you and dad
Yeah.
cool, or how
Yeah.
was that?
So, yeah, no, definitely. So I was blessed, right? In a sense of, so my father, is Jamaica, he's passed as well, right? So
Okay.
he was always based and lived in Jamaica. So when my mum migrated it to the UK, set herself up, she remarried,
Mm,
and I've had a
yeah.
fantastic stepfather, right?
Okay.
Who
Okay.
picked
Yeah.
up the
Yeah.
reins and would
Yeah.
teach me about hard work. And he was a cab
Mm,
driver, minicab,
mm,
minicab
yeah.
taxi driver. You know, you call him up and
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Yeah.
about the road, North London, and everything like that. But having that male
Mm,
figure in the home,
yeah.
and he supported my mother to her last breath. And I don't say that as a metaphor. I was there,
Mm,
sat on the
yeah.
stairs, and this man, Vero, my stepdad,
Mm,
was holding her
mm,
hand. And I saw in my own eyes to the last breath, Herman. I'm looking at it. And then
mm,
the ambulance man said, she's gone. So I can say
mm.
and testify
Wow.
to her last breath, he was holding her hand. So there's this
Mm,
man has been with me from a boy to a man.
yeah.
I'm so thankful he's still alive. He lives in North London. Check for him.
Mm,
We do stuff together. We watch football. We celebrate. You know what I'm saying? Just having that
mm,
stability around my mother at the time when she
yeah.
thought she
Yeah.
was superwoman and could do everything. There were times when
Mm,
she needed the support of my stepfather. And my
yeah.
father in
Yeah.
Jamaica, he was great as well, right? He
Yes.
done his role,
Yes.
but he done his role from another country, but would still check in on, you know what I'm saying? Because he knew
Mm,
he had a woman that could carry both loads, right?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when she come
Yeah. I
here,
get
she
it.
stand up strong, but still
Mm,
it reminds you, make sure you call your father. Make sure you
yeah.
call your father, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
love that
Yeah.
about her. She didn't try and cut off the relationship now that we're in another country. She held that strong, but made sure I
Mm,
was connected with my stepfather as well. Until this day, it's a fantastic relationship.
mm. You know something, like like in this conversation, because I'm getting to know things about yourself as well, you know, like, and this is the stuff I like to get to know about someone, because it's the person, it's the real person, you know. The professional is just one level, you know what I mean, but the professional a lot of times can be superficial, not just, you know what I mean, like just as a professional role. If we just
Mm,
look at what we do, you don't really find out who someone is, or why they are, or what's their motive, or you know why they have the aspirations they have, or why did they have that ethos or that culture or whatever. You don't really find it out. So me finding out these things about you today is really blessing me. You know, it's like widening my heart for you. You know, like I'm looking at you and I'm saying, your countenance, the way you carry yourself, the joy that you exude, the positivity, it don't even seem like you've kind of gone through those things. Because even now you're talking about your mom means so much to you, your dad as well. You know, and it's like
yeah,
they've both
yeah,
passed, but the way you are carrying yourself forward, the mindset you have, from what I see, is not a victim mentality. It's not a, oh, what has happened to me. It's like you're still going forward and you're still
mhm.
overcoming the challenges and so forth. So what has given you that kind of perspective, you know, because I feel this is going to lead onto like different things as we go into the conversation, because I know what you do with Bold, I know what you do with empowering others and so forth. What
Mhm.
I'm saying now is like, how have you cultivated that mindset or that perspective on life that still you beam and the sun come out your face, you know what I mean?
No, I love the way you phrase that question. And I hear it all the time, and people ask me, it's like, you're always on a high. It's because I
Mm,
know everything that's happening around me is bigger than me. For
yes.
Mahari to be Mahari, there are other things that are working behind the scenes in my favor. So why would I not
Mm,
take a chance to take a step back and acknowledge those things that are working in my favor? And when I talk about
mm,
those types of things, things are people. You never
yeah.
know
Yeah.
who's trying to champion you in a room where you're not in, or lifting you up,
Mm,
or you refer to the accolades I've won. I can't win
mm,
anything without people recognizing what I'm doing, writing an
mm,
email to somebody else to say, I need to recognize this human being because he has changed the way I think or the way I apply
mm,
myself to, whether it be in a professional environment or a personal environment. That is the
mm,
reward I get. And sometimes when I get certain emails or little messages and say, yo, Mahari, I love how you can just be who you are and still gain
mm,
the respect, whether it be in a personal or social or in a professional setting. You're just who you are.
mm,
And I
yeah.
said, I saw the thing, Steve. What else you
Yeah.
gonna do?
well, well, to tell the truth, you know, big man, a lot of people have options, you know, and you might make it sound easy, like be who you are, but a lot of times people are not who they are. It's funny because being who you are can be the easiest thing or the most difficult thing to be.
Mm,
You know,
true that.
it should seem very automatic. It should seem very natural, but a lot of times people can be so disconnected from who they are
Mm,
that it's not easy. So when you like, when I think about you and I know that you do the work that you do, you work within a corporate space, you're a leader, you know, you're a role model, you're an inspiration, you know, you're in a lot of circles, you know, some high echelons, do you know what I mean, with different contacts, different networks, different people, but
Yeah.
you still are able to remain yourself. When a lot of times when people go into some environments, you know, especially as a black person, and they go into some environments that is doesn't really reflect them, or they're the only black person in the room, sometimes that they sometimes shy away from being themselves, or they shy away from shining how they are because they try to fit into that environment. So how have you gone about that? Because even as we're talking now, you know, Mahari's come from Yard, he's come from Jamaica. You know, he said
Lord,
he's a ghetto. He says he's a ghetto youth. He's a this and
what
that.
to
You know,
do?
but when you're in a different room, you're professional. You're competent. You're knowledgeable. You're astute. You know, how have you gone about keeping your essence while being in different environments?
So I've mastered the art of building trust and discernment. When you step into a room,
Okay.
you don't just step into the room without understanding what room you're stepping into. So I'm
Okay.
not
Okay.
walking into anything without doing my due diligence and research and understanding the types of people that will be there. But at the same
Mm,
time, Mahari being Mahari should be able to complement that room, not fit into that room.
I
Right?
like that. I like that. Break that down. You know, you have to break that down. I like that.
Right?
You know.
Okay. So when there's something happening at this venue on this date, Mahari would love to invite you. Excellent. I'm
Mm,
having a read. I pre the
mm,
whole situation. Who's going to be
mm,
there? What is the event for? What's the objective? What's the purpose? Right? Why have you
mm,
invited me? Was it a blanket email, or was there a specific reason you want me there? And you know, 9 times
mm,
out of 10, it is because there's a specific reason they want you in that room. So I'm now
mm,
thinking, who else is going to be there? And sometimes you do kind of tend to know because of the circles that you kind of tend to be in. And it's now me
mm.
thinking, how do I complement this space? So when I
Yes.
leave there, there's a relationship like a Herman and Mahari relationship at the end of it.
Mm,
That
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And you can testify that that happened. That was the first time I met you, Herman. There were
Yeah.
other people in that room that I've
Yeah.
known for years. I've done
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
with, friends, and there was a person who I met who I never knew. And at the end of the
Mm,
night, me and you took about 35 pictures,
yeah. It's true. It's
right?
true. It's true. Yeah.
Because we held conversation and we shared similar views on certain things, which made it
Mm,
want to carry on the conversation after that event. So what I did,
mm,
I complemented that event with a little bit of
yes.
Mahari. And even if
Mm,
nobody took to it, Herman did. And
yes.
through that
Yes.
Herman connecting with me, I'm sat here having a conversation with you, talking about things bigger than work. You're talking about me
Mm,
as a human being, as a person,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And there's not
Yes.
many times you're in that space where you share who you
Mm,
are as a human, right? Through
mm,
that connection, right? That one
yeah.
connection. And there was another one in that night as well. But today I'm dealing with you. That's what happened.
Mm,
So you need
yeah.
to understand and really discern the rooms that you're entering in. So when you enter
Mm,
and then you leave, they said, yo, in for the on the next invite. Jano,
yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You've left
Yeah.
something behind where people now are eager to hear from you again, or want you in the
Mm,
space to pass on the same experience that you shared with them. I just want you to meet
mm,
Mahari. Don't
yeah.
listen. I just want you to meet this guy. I don't want to
Mm,
introduce him or nothing. Just have a conversation with him, and that's
yeah.
what I want.
Yeah.
When I talk about legacy and influence, that's what I mean.
Mm,
Stepping into a
yeah.
room where you can change mindsets, or complement a
Mm,
mindset, or help
yeah.
somebody to think differently. That's my style.
Mm, yes. Yes. And I can, you know, I can bear witness, you know, with that. And to me, it it's more than a style, you know. It kind of, for me, it's like an essence, because it's so congruent, you know, like the
I like
authenticity
that.
the authenticity of you was shining through. Like I'm the mentor's mentor. I mentor people. I work with people, with leaders. I
Yeah,
train people to become like, so people is that's my world,
that's
you
your
know.
team.
And drawing the greatness out of people, and introducing people to a better version of themselves. That's
Love
my world. So when you talk about discernment, that's something that I have to have. You know what I mean? When I'm talking
it.
to people or getting to understand people, because for me, it's about seeing beyond the face and seeing the heart. You
Yes,
know what I
absolutely.
mean? Because
Absolutely.
because really and truly, that's the only way you can really get to see who's real or who's not. Who's for you or who's not. A lot of times people can smile at you, but
Mhm.
really their heart's not for you. And I want to avoid them people where possible,
Yeah,
or not build a deep relationship with them people because they get into the inner circle or they get into my world. So
absolutely. Agreed.
I, I understand that being able to be how you are and to flow how you are, that comes from, I believe, from even your context or even your backstory and so forth. And you kind of spoke about it at the start because you were saying, you probably go sideways a bit and so forth. And I know you come from what part of London was it? Was it North
North
London, South
London,
London? It's
Tottenham, Tottenham,
North London, North London.
North
And I
London.
know, I know North London definitely can be
Yeah,
edgy. It's a real place.
for real.
And with what you do, how did you how did you navigate the streets and aspire to what you do? Like when you was younger, when like so imagine I was speaking to the 15-year-old Mahari.
Yeah.
What did what was he like, and what did he want to be? What did he
So when I think about me as a youth, right, I I love sport, playing
Yeah,
football. I love those little youth things that you'd run up and down, right?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
my mom used to always say, and I'm sure everybody's mom used to say that come from a black background, if you're not here, you're gonna feel. You
yeah,
understand?
yeah, yeah,
All who don't hear will feel. And what was happening around me, right? I had lots of friends on the road, but either they were getting
mm,
into trouble and they were getting sent to prison, or they were getting involved
mm,
in things that could really put them 6 foot under the ground. And it's sad to
mm,
say that a couple of them did get put 6 foot underground. And there was a
mm,
very close friend of mine back in the day, and we was in the same class at school. And this was the first time I experienced loss. A friend of
mm,
mine that went to my primary school, like in the last years of primary school, and then we transitioned over into secondary school, victim of
mm,
knife crime, and he died.
yeah, yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I'm coming from Jamaica, and I'm embedding myself into English culture, and knife crime was a thing where I was just like, you hear about it, but then it was so close to home. I was like, this
yeah,
guy was just kicking ball with me in the school,
mm,
and to the point where the
mm,
next day school announcement, someone's gone, and it
yeah,
kind of hits you, and you think he was in my class, and he's no
mm,
longer here with us. So
yeah,
there's a certain thing that you need to understand. Is like, do I want that for myself? And we're talking
mm,
somebody who wasn't heavily in the road and them thing there. This was a
mm,
situation where wrong place, wrong time. How
yeah,
many times am I with people who are better than me, but in a place
mm,
where I could have been the victim of the wrong place, wrong time? And I
yeah,
didn't want that
yeah,
for me. I had
yeah,
to wake up quickly, quickly to
mm,
understand that it's either you're going to go climb the ladder or you're going to go
mm,
under. And I had to make a
mm,
choice to say, you know what, as much as I think I'm built for the road, there's nothing on the road. And I learned that
mm, mm,
quickly when I experienced loss. And it was heavy because
yeah,
other people, he had younger brothers in the school as well. And you can see it on their face, the heaviness of losing a sibling, right? He was
mm,
our
yeah,
friend, he was a sibling to somebody else. And the
yeah,
heaviness and there was a darkness over the school. Because any life
mm,
that's taken, especially as a child, when a child
yeah,
is taken away from any environment, you feel it. And that's what
yeah,
I felt. And I said, I don't want this for me. As much as I
mm,
see this person doing that, that person doing that, I'm 15-year-old just about to go into college. I have to just try and do something greater. My mother didn't bring
yeah,
me here to bury me. She brought me here to
yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's I mean, that's a really sad recollection, and that's becoming more common now and more prevalent, because when I was growing up, I don't think it wasn't 15 that I saw like a lot of young people get, get murdered or, street life. Because in my area, that was very prevalent, but it does really impact you as a young person. And I think it's sometimes we carry a lot of weight and we don't realize it, because it's funny, like a friend of mine, he's a while back now. He just done a post on Instagram, and he just was speaking about a story that I was involved in and he was involved. You know what I mean? Like he got stabbed, and I was there. I was there to support him, but I weren't interested in any of the street stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was like, he could have passed away that night, but he never. You know what I mean? He never passed away.
Yes.
But
Amen.
But when he brought it back up, and he was just giving thanks to say that I was with him and that I was there to take care of him, and I never left, and wait for ambulance to come and everything. I just realized like the trauma, like how impactful it was. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of people go
Real,
through things and they
real
carry it
cool.
and they don't realize that they're carrying it, because it's like when he wrote that message, like it's probably 2 years ago. It's like COVID time. When he wrote that message, I just bust out crying. Like I was like it's like it came back, and I realized it. And it's like, no way. Sometimes as young people, we go through things, and young people can be so resilient and they just move forward.
Yeah.
But that is like PTSD. You know what I mean? That the PTSD that they've gone
No
through.
joke.
So even just to hear that you've gone through that, and then to hear that you've been able to overcome that and go, to be able to thrive, that's a really blessing, because as you said, it was someone that was close to you. So even at that time,
Yeah.
so even you're in finance now, yeah.
Yeah.
Was you hoping to be in finance? Because if you're in finance, I guess you must have been good at maths, or did something happen, or you know what I mean? Like you got that real serious Jamaican mama. I know about a serious Jamaican mama.
Yo.
I've got one as well.
Yeah.
So
Listen to me. Let me tell
what
you.
was it?
My thing was, I was very creative. I
Yeah.
would solve problems up here, but in a creative sense, not with numbers, but with visuals, right? So in my
Yes.
mind,
Yes.
I was always good at graphic design and architecture. And that's where, as a 15-year-old transitioning out of that,
Okay.
I wanted to build houses, like literally
Okay.
design them. And
Yes.
I think a lot of that stemmed back to rewind way back, being in a tenement yard in Jamaica. And for those who are watching and listening, it was about coming from very humble beginnings, when you
Mm,
have
mm,
7 to 10 family members in one house in different rooms of the house. That's how we were living. So
mm,
maybe there was a subconsciousness behind me that said, you know what, one day I want to come build my mother a house. I want to
yeah.
design something and do something. Because in Jamaica, when you go to Jamaica and you drive around places like Kingston, there's lots of like murals and artistry on the walls when you go into different areas. And I was heavily involved in the drawing of the walls back in the day. So now I've come to
Mm,
England, the facilities are different. There's not
yes.
so there's a huge focus on creatives. Whereas Jamaica, you might not get your arts and your graphic design and all. It's maths and science and
Yes.
arithmetic and literature.
Yeah.
Like these are the subjects that you need. Where now I've come to England and I can really delve into the skills that I felt that I was naturally given. You give me a computer, I can
Mm,
design stuff quite easily. So I did
yes.
graphic design, architecture, university,
Mm,
first one in the family. My mum's there, Royal Albert Hall. Not,
mm,
she's
yes.
more,
Yes.
that's what I'm
Oh,
there.
yeah. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what's happening. So my
Mm,
transition to move into finance is I can never forget. I never forget. My mother and I were on Dalston, East London, Kingston High
mm,
Street. And on a
mm,
Saturday, she said, "Today I'm going to open a bank account for you." Right?
yeah.
We walked, without naming any names, we walked to 2 different banks that said no,
Mm,
or didn't take the time to explain to her what she needed in order to open a bank account. And
okay.
I
Okay.
saw the disappointment in her, where all she wanted
Mm,
to do was open a bank account. for her child
Mm,
to then say,
yes.
you have liquor responsibility now. You know, you're not working on, but you have a bank account, right? And it
Mm,
was then I realized the difficulty that sometimes Black people have gaining access to financial information or
okay.
funds to help grow their business. And
Mm,
maybe it didn't hit me as hard, or thought, how do I transition from this creative background into this? But I thought to myself, the moment I actually got into finance, that's what I wanted to
mm,
do. Because this story, and I tell this story every time I go, I say, let me tell you something. Giving people the knowledge or the resources for them to learn and understand how they can help their families through financial
mm,
awareness and gain. And if I can be a part of the
mm,
story, I might not be the one giving you the money, but if I'm the man that said, Mahari, I'm looking about it, for real, go and talk to Herman. He's based over here.
mm,
Yeah, he can give you some information. And if it fits
mm,
what you're trying to do, you have it. There's nothing better than having somebody give you access to something for you to
yeah.
better your mindset to then progress. And that's why
Mm,
finance, I've decided, is such a important part of society, right? If you can meet
mm,
genuine people to help you understand how to manage your finances, or help
yes.
you gain access to capital to fund your business,
Mm,
which will then go into
mm,
the community, right? The
yeah. Yeah.
closest thing
Yeah.
my mom got to getting a loan was partner,
Okay, yeah, the partner,
right?
the infamous
And,
partner, two hands. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and and again, for the listeners, that's, and I know it's called different things in different cultures, but as Jamaicans and West Indians, we know that if there were 7 or 8 families or people or individuals in a community, everyone would put
mm,
£50, £100 into a pot, and at the end of
yeah,
the week, one person gets that lump sum to go and do whatever they want with it, right?
yes, yes.
Imagine that's what we knew, and that's what we were growing up on, not knowing there were banks on
Mm,
the high street. If you had, you know what, Miss Brown, all I need from you is some bank statements, this, we're able to lend you up to X, right? We could
yeah,
have had
yes.
property when property was cheap.
Mm, yeah,
Imagine, right?
yeah,
My mum
yeah,
wanted those
yeah.
things for me, but because she didn't know how to gain access to those things, it made it very
Mm,
difficult. And this is why
mm,
now when people ask me about those things and understand, I want to tell them, give them the nuggets to
mm,
say, this is what you should be doing. And this is something that you can talk to, you can build trust with,
mm,
and help you. And that's my
yeah,
style.
yeah, yeah. And I hear that. And finance, yeah, being able to have access to finance, being able to have financial literacy, being able to understand these things is important, especially for groups that don't have a legacy of
Yeah.
finance. And I think that is a challenge. So even just hearing that story, in a sense of you being passionate because of seeing that as a bystander, being able to see that level of unfairness or that lack of consideration. I'm not even gonna, we can call it discrimination, but I would say whether it's lack of consideration, whether it's a lack of patience, or whatever it is that someone could have applied to enable your mom to be able to access the aspiration she had,
Yeah.
that would be a powerful driver. You know what I mean? So
But
even knowing that's big.
trust me. When you see those things and you experience them as a young child, as a young man, and you're seeing the person who is fighting tooth and nail to provide for you being knocked back
Mm,
when their heart is
mm,
pure and all they want is
yes.
some assistance, is hitting you, right? Your parents will try
Mm,
to shield you from difficulty, which I tried to do
mm,
with my
yeah,
daughters. But when you
yeah.
see it for yourself without them explaining the difficulty they're experiencing, it leaves something on
Mm,
you. I said,
yeah.
nah, that don't sit right with me. I can't do
Mm,
nothing now, but should I ever get the opportunity, I'm gonna right that wrong. And that's what I'm living
mm,
now.
yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you just mentioned you mentioned your daughters. How many daughters you have?
I got two. The one's 8, her name's Kyra, and the 13-year-old Karis. So big woman
Okay.
got things that she too nice. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, I got three daughters myself.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
so I want to talk to you about that aspect of you then, because Mahari is a professional. He's a leader. He's a father. What does family mean to you? And I know you've got a partner. You've got your lady that's
Yeah,
both of you. You know what I mean? It's
big her
like
up. You know what I
you're
mean? You
not
know
you-
already.
you're not playing about. You know what I mean? What does
Come
it
on.
mean to you to have family? And what does it? What does your like what does your missus mean to you as well?
Yeah, there's a saying, right? Behind every good man is a better woman. But let me
Yeah.
tell you something. This woman ain't behind me. She at the
Yeah.
side of me.
Yes.
She
Yes.
at the front. She's on the
Yes.
roof. She's on the.
Yes. Yes.
She's
Yes.
there.
Yes. Yes.
We have a
Yes.
term which people are familiar: ride or die, right? And you
Yes.
need
Yeah.
that strength. You need that stability, and Nikki does that,
Mm,
right?
yes. Yeah.
She's excellent, right? I
Mm,
can't throw out too many words, but there's an excellence and an aura over her life. And 20 years in a dedicated sector is dentistry. And if you look at
mm,
dentistry, not many black people in dentistry. So to
yeah. Yeah.
command a presence and again, being recognized at the Dentistry Award for Practice Manager of the Year 2023, those
Wow.
that's the excellence that I get to be around regularly,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Your privilege. Yes.
anytime people follow me and they look on my Instagram and you see FF, family first. That's what it stands
Yes.
for. Family
Yes.
is key
Yes.
to your your inner self, right? You've
Mm,
seen me, Herman, and you know how life can get busy. But when I
yeah.
come
Yeah.
through that front door and the door closed, there's a
Yeah.
calmness in the house where it's like, yeah, man, kick off my shoes and just
Yeah.
cool, right? Even
Yeah.
though
Yeah.
my daughters are trying to rock my pocket because Christmas is coming in, right? I've been in a position where I couldn't give them the long Christmas
Yeah.
list that they wanted, right? To
Yes. Yes.
explain
Yes.
that
Yes.
life no works.
Yes.
So, but
Yes.
now
Yes.
we can have a conversation to say, you know what, you've been good in school, You carry yourself well,
Mm,
you speak well, you're very, that old word, mannerable. It's not a word,
yes.
but in
Yeah.
Jamaica, you know what I'm saying? Manners you have manners.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love my daughters. And I can't
Mm,
express how much
yeah.
I want to shield them from difficulty, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what
Yeah.
all I want to do. You be a father, you know what I'm saying? You're a partner. You want to be able to
Mm,
shield them from difficulty. For me,
mm,
because I've experienced it, right?
yes.
And
Yes.
you've been
Yes.
through our own hardships and stuff like that. But as right now, your children, Herman, and they don't know nothing about no difficulty, right? They know that they have
Mm,
somebody who believes in them, trusts
yeah.
them, and wants the best for them. But there will be
Mm,
a point where it's like, this is what we've been through, and this is what we're trying to make sure you understand. So for
yeah.
me, not to wrap it up, but family is everything because
Yeah.
you don't have that. Who are you doing it for? That's how
Yeah.
I look at it. And again, anything I say is for me, right? This is my
Yeah.
heart story. If I
Yeah.
can't bless them and my friends, what am I doing it
Mm,
for?
yeah. 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 Why? I hear you, know. I hear you, and same. You know what I mean? I've had to have some real honest conversations with myself,
Mm,
because even my wife, Donna, she's my better half, definitely. And when you see me, I am a product of her support, her guidance, her leadership, her help, her care.
well,
And a lot of times, you know what I mean? A lot of times people can just see the face. It's like when you see the face of a brand, you know what I mean? But behind the face, there's everything happening. You know what I mean? That makes that work.
I
So
know.
I understand that, and I feel
Come on.
when you say shielding your daughters, like what you're doing, I feel a powerful way of shielding them is by modeling what it should look like, because really most things are caught and not taught,
Mm,
so they're in the environment seeing what it should look like. You know what I mean? Seeing the rhythm of the home, seeing the support, seeing the mutual
bro,
respect, seeing the mutual care and love. They can then see that that's possible, and really that's something that I would probably want. Do you know what I mean? Like from their perspective, so
mm,
that's
I know.
I feel that that's beautiful.
For real, for real. We can't progress without them. Definitely not.
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah,
to anyway.
Yeah. No. I'm definitely. I'm on the same. I'm on the same wave. Like I knew we was gonna be able to like talk. There's no things we haven't even spoke about yet. Like, so I
Listen,
do want to. What you want to say? What you want to say?
no, I'm just saying it's true. There's so many things, right? When you think of an uplifting conversation, you don't really notice the time. But me just
Yeah.
have quick and think, because you're talking so many great things that edify me,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
feel like this conversation could run on for hours, right? Where it's
Yeah.
not, it's a live stream. This is me and
Yeah.
you chatting on a
Yeah.
Sunday, like normal,
Yeah.
just saying, yo, Herman, that I go
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed by it. Gosh, we're finishing in 4 minutes,
4 minutes,
In 4 minutes, but I'm going to touch on two things.
Yeah.
I want to find out about from you. What's your perspective of a personal brand? What makes a personal brand,
That's a
and
great
why is it
question.
and why is it important as well?
Because for me, and every time I talk about personal brand, right, it's the opportunity for somebody to engage with you as a person before even
Mm,
having a chance to meet you. Think of the most
mm,
powerful brands that you see in the world, and you know who is who and who does what and who says what. You know what represents excellence. So I've taken the time to
mm,
think about who is Mahari, and when they think of Mahari, what are they going to get from that brand? So for me, that is what a personal
mm,
brand is. And my one
mm,
is built on three principles where it's engage, excite, and execute. And just in a quick
mm,
snapshot, when you meet me, are you engaged enough to want to have a conversation? Right? Through that
mm,
engagement, does the conversation edify and excite you? Am I excited
mm.
through the engagement that we've had? And then the
Yes.
last one is always a call to action. What are you going to do? How are you going to add value? That's your execute.
Mm,
I've engaged you.
mm,
I've excited you through conversation, and now we're going to work together to either execute on one of your deliverables or you can help me execute
mm,
on my deliverables. So that's what my
mm,
brand is. Get involved, understand who you are, help people to help themselves or help them to help you.
okay. I love that. I love that. And how did you come about even like just identifying those three words? They're all E, so it's like the literations there, and all that kind of like. I
Yeah,
like that. I like it. I like the process of it. Like you engage, excite,
come on.
execute. Why did you go for why did you go for them three?
Because they speak about me. So if you
Yeah.
speak to anybody, it's not something that I came up by myself with, right? If you
Yes.
ask somebody, if you spoke to me, yeah, boy, that man there, he's so engaging. You chat to him, he
Yeah.
hold you a different way. So when
Yeah.
I'm hearing these words, and it's like, Mahari, I'm excited that we're going to be working together. So I'm
Okay.
relaying numerous different conversations where these
Yes.
words have become
Are being
common.
used.
Mahari is
Yes.
really engaging. Have a chat with him. Mahari, I'm excited
Yes.
that we connected, and I'm looking forward to what we're going to work on together. Right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then the last one about execution was all about getting things done. The trust that
Mm,
I've built with people is because I have an ability to deliver, to
yes.
execute, right?
Yes.
Playing football back in
Yes.
today, yo, them man can execute them. Them man, they bust a whole heap of goal. No,
Yes.
and
Yes.
this is where I'm sitting down, and you probably see my Instagram. Those guys listening, you can follow. When you go on there, it was all about pulling that together and
Mm,
the power of three. I want
yeah.
somebody to remember them. I don't just want to be able to teach, but remember, engage, excite, execute. That's about pulling it together so people can digest it easier.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Look. Wow. We finished. We finished. We're
Already.
gonna 1 o'clock. Where do you want people to go and find you? Tell them your social handles where to
Yes, you can.
go.
Hopefully, you can see it on the screen right now. Over Yasso, right at Mr. Mahari Hay. Go find me on Instagram. Every day, I'm posting about things about personal brand, how to help you with public speaking, how to connect, how to network, and also www.maharihay.com. Hit me on my website. Let's connect. I'd love to speak to your organization, speak to you, one-on-one sessions, face-to-face. And then, of course, as you know, LinkedIn. Man, I'm the king of LinkedIn, anything you want to know. I'm there. I want to be able to, and I'm
Wow.
sure Herman will share it with you all.
Wow. Listen, I honor you. I respect you. You know, I'm thankful for the time that we've spent and what you've shared. And I hope you have the best, you know, that your latter days are greater than your former days, and you experience excellence in your family, flourish and thrive. That's what I hope for you, you know.
Thank you,
So
brother. Appreciate you.
thank you for your time. Thank you for being
Always.
with us. And I want to say thank you for everyone that's been with us for this week's mentoring show. And I'm just really blessed that you've been here. And come back in 2 weeks' time and you'll see our next guest. Take
Yes.
care.
All right.